Okay.
So it's creating, so just play a little louder, sing a little louder.
Okay.
So I'm going to move this a little more.
I'm going to be singing the national anthem, so do I do like sound check here as well?
When do you do your anthem?
Like the beginning.
It's like the first thing we do. Oh, it's the first thing we do. So just go?
Yeah, you can just keep playing. Just
Okay.
ignore me and do your
All right.
Always have your eyes on the horizon. Throw my dreams up and let them fly with the wind. Keep my heart full of the best intentions. Wanna build a life I'm dying to live. Wanna build a life with you by my side. We got something most people never find. Climb a mountain just to see you smile. You make me wanna plant roots and stay a while. Always have my eyes on the horizon. Throw my dreams up and let them fly with the wind. Keep my heart full of the best intentions. Wanna build a life I'm dying to live. Sing away the sunsets and sun. Heard away the leaves talk in the fall. Think it to me well to remember. You never know when you're gonna leave it all.
Do I have to sing the rest?
say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
welcome to the class of 2025 graduation. Now to welcome Superintendent Dr. Mark Ers, Dr. Jeff Ham, Brad Haraki, and the school board members Robert Gowans, Todd Thompson, Scott Bryan, Elizabeth Smith, and Valerie Shields. Faculty, staff, family, and friends, on behalf of class of 2025, I would like to welcome all of you to graduation. We'll begin with the Tooele ROTC presenting our flag and the national anthem sung by Samantha Campos.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Yeah. Fix my cap.
Alrighty. Welcome, everyone. 1 second. I actually didn't print out my speech, so I gotta use my phone real quick. Gotta pull that up. Alrighty. Welcome, everybody. Class of 2025. Here we are. You guys all look so happy and excited, and it's like ready to get out of here. We'll get out of here soon enough, all right? But it's funny because I'm standing here in front of you all, expected to give you words of wisdom. I'm expected to give you words of encouragement, words that will have you running towards the future with passion and excitement, with the attitude that you can take on the whole world. But the truth is, nothing I say here will really matter. In the next couple hours, next couple of days, next couple of months, you will all forget what I say here today, and you will all move on with your lives. Now, before you tune me out and check your phones, let me explain. There are people who will give you advice, people who will motivate you. There are speeches, TED Talks, podcasts, all meant to inspire change, and sometimes they do. So the question is, how do we achieve a lasting impact, though? All these things, they inspire change, but it's only for a moment. How do we achieve something that's going to be with us our entire life? The answer doesn't come from me. It doesn't come from family, teachers, or anybody on the outside. The voice that matters the most comes from you. Now, I'm not saying outside voices don't matter, because that's false. I would not be standing here today without my family, friends, and coaches, and teachers, administration, and my boy Jimmy, Elder Thubit Thou, who's serving right now. I would not be standing here without all these people. But the question is, what happens when they aren't there? What happens when you're off on your mission and you're serving away from your family and friends and you feel alone? What happens when you're off to college and all you have is your thoughts? What happens when all you have is you? In 2019, December 16th, it was a normal day. I was in middle school at this time, I believe, and I woke up, started getting ready for school like a normal day, and I heard words from my sister in my mother's room. And she said words that will be with me my entire life. She said, "Mom's not breathing." You know, those words scared me. Yes, they scared me because I love my mother, but it scared me because my mother's voice was who I was. You know, she used to tell me I was smart, I was creative, and that I was special. But now I had to ask myself, do I believe this? That same day she passed away. And it was hard because I had to ask myself, do I believe that I'm smart? Do I believe that I'm creative? Do I believe that I'm special? Long story short, here I am today, as a student body president standing before you all. Despite the amount of people telling me I shouldn't run because it's not who I am, here I am today, a student athlete, despite the amount of people telling me I shouldn't play because of my torn ACL and meniscus. I'm here today because of my self-talk. Mastering your inner voice is vital. Your self-talk is your compass. It's what leads your thoughts, and your thoughts is what leads your actions. Your actions is what ultimately defines who you are today and who you will be in the future. Self-talk is not just talk. It's the blueprint of your reality. We made it through tests, deadlines, earthquakes, awkward presentations, heartbreaks, and Zoom classes with frozen screens. We made it here today. And I hope that proves to you that you are capable. Because if your inner voice hasn't told you yet, let me be the first to say, you are smart, you are creative, and you are special. You are here for a reason, and you are capable of so much. But again, my voice means nothing. So I hope we get the opportunity today to look back these last 4 years and to realize how much you've overcome. And to realize that you should be proud of yourself too. And that your inner voice is what ultimately defines who you are today and in the future. Now I want to end my speech with a few words from a psychologist by the name of Benjamin Hardy. And he said, "I always wanted to be somebody, but now I realize I should have been more specific. You are going to be someone. That much is certain. The question is, who are you going to be?" Thank you all, go Buffs, and congratulations to the class of 2025. We will now turn the time over to Principal Wyatt to recognize those who have joined the armed services and to award the Valedictorian and Salutatorian scholarship. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It's my honor to recognize those that value this country more than they value themselves. So I'm going to read these names. When you hear a name, would you please stand if you're here? Luke Spindler, already active duty. He's a Marine, preparing to deploy to Japan. Emma Blair, National Guard. Ashlyn Birch, Air Force. Theodore Dincola, Navy. Sebastian Donovan, a Marine. Wyatt Fisher, a Marine. Rachel Gordon, Army. Jeremiah Hayworth, Marine. Enoch Henry, National Guard. Derek Hyatt, a Marine. Jacob Jensen, a Marine. Sebastian Marquez Jimenez, a Marine. Morgan McIntyre, Army. Andrew Mejia Cayetano, Marine. Dalton Poika, Navy. Connor Roberts, Marine. Braxton Walsh, Army. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Thank you, guys. Tooele High has a great tradition of having a lot of students enter military service. It's now also my honor to announce or recognize the Salutatorian and Valedictorian. Our Salutatorian this year, and if you'd come up and receive your plaque, is Nick Reynolds. And our valedictorian this year is Jacob Jenkins. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Wyatt. Next, we will hear from our salutatorian, Nick Reynolds, followed by our valedictorian, Jacob Jenkins.
I'm losing all my chords. Well, hello everyone. It's very good to see you all here today. I'm lying, there's too many people here. I can't focus. But really, I'm glad you're here, and it's an honor to be here speaking. My name is Nick Reynolds, and it's a pleasure to represent the class of 2025 as the salutatorian. If you don't, this sucks. If you don't know me, it's probably because the most interesting thing I did in high school was the debate team. And after taking 4 years of debate and going to state competitions, you'd think I might be even accidentally gotten good at public speaking, but no, the nerves still definitely get to me. I competed in a lot of debate tournaments, actually, and over the course of all of them, I've probably written over 100 different speeches, and this one has been by far the hardest one that I ever had to write, not just because of the obvious, but also because I struggled for the longest time trying to make a good point out of it. I wasn't given a specific topic, which was probably a bad idea, because I probably just could have gotten up here today and talked about the 2019 World Series for 20 minutes. Matter of fact, did you know that 2019 was the first year that the road team won every single game in the World Series? I didn't go on many dates, if you couldn't tell. Now, every time I had to write a speech for a competition, it was based on a specific topic, and I at least had something to build on, something I could research or twist or present in some sort of interesting way, but I wasn't able to do that for this one. I didn't want to write about anything generic like what you can do in the future either, or because I'm not smart enough to predict it, or the challenges that you're going to face and what you need to do to address that. And I can't exactly write about what we can all take from our experiences in high school because, like I said, I was a little boring. So I ended up just staring at a blank sheet of paper for about 2 weeks. And the only thing I could end up thinking about what to write about was just how I got here, how I won salutatorian in my story, which is, I think, about the only interesting part about me. Part of that story involves why the speech was so hard to write. mostly because it was a salutatorian speech, and I didn't feel like I deserved to be salutatorian for a lot of it. For one, I wasn't exactly a good student. My greatest strength has always been my ability to procrastinate, and that has frequently clashed with my attempts to get good grades in all my classes. One time, I had to read all 600 pages of Moby Dick in under a day for my AP Literature class, and then I had to fill out a long assignment worth half my grade during another class just so I could turn it in for Ms. Brown's class. I got an A on that assignment somehow. People hated me for that, which was honestly deserved, but it was maybe not even the worst procrastination I did in just that class alone. I also wasn't exactly the most motivated for all of my assignments at times. If I didn't want to do them, I just kind of waited until the last minute, which went pretty hand in hand with my terminal procrastination habit. And I was pretty stubborn as well. When I was given the chance to switch from Moby Dick to a shorter book about 3 days before it was due, I declined and said that I'd read it, and then I didn't for the next 2 days anyway, but still. The main reason I felt undeserving of being here today was that I didn't do it alone. And for the longest time, I believed you had to do it alone to be truly great. I was always where I succeeded in elementary school and middle school. I did everything by myself. I barely needed to be taught. I did every group project assignment by myself. I always chose to be alone in reading rooms because I felt I was just faster at reading than everyone else. And, and because of that, I realized I was really selfish and stubborn. I know to an extent I still am. But that was what made me really great at things. I was just motivated to prove that I was the best at something. And once upon a time, many, many years ago, I turned in everything before it was due. And things were great, but I was pretty miserable for it because I had very few friends and far more enemies. People hated me for it because I was arrogant and cocky, and they probably still would if it weren't for a few good friends and teachers I had who changed everything for me. They helped me to learn that it wasn't wrong to ask for help and try new things, to fail and learn from it. I was so blinded by a fear of failure that I ended up just being a bad friend and a bad person. These last 2 years of school have taught me more than any other, not just in education, but in humility. I owe a lot to the good people around me. People who were better than me and wanted me to be better. People who saw past all the shortcomings I had piled up. People who put in countless hours in the thankless work of making me a better person. Each of them helped me to come out of my shell and helped me to be a better person than I ever would have been on my own. So thank you to all my friends who dragged me along to them with every hangout despite my corner sulking. Thank you to my teachers who put up with my constant procrastinating and challenging me to put in more effort. Thank you to my parents who somehow found the strength to put up with me for 18 years. And for everyone here tonight to support me. And the hardest realization I ever had to come to was that I couldn't do it alone. And that was okay. The person I was never defined by just what I could do for myself, but what I could do for others. I had to accept help and criticism, and I had to let others in to truly succeed. So thank you, all of you, for your help in whatever small way that you have. I never felt like the most qualified person to speak here by myself, but that was never the point. It took a lot of people to get me here, and I've come to realize that's not a failure, it's a great success. While I was writing this, I thought a lot about a commencement speech that Arnold Schwarzenegger gave in 2017, where he said, "I didn't make it that far on my own. I mean, to accept that credit or mantle would discount every single person that has helped to get me here today, that gave me advice, that made an effort, that gave me time, that lifted me when I fell. It gives the wrong impression that we can do it alone. None of us can." He said it much better than I ever could, and if you want to hear the good version of the speech, you should go listen to the one that he gave. But if you can take one thing from my incoherent ranting today, I want you to know that you aren't weak for needing help. And you aren't making anyone stronger for withholding it. Improvement doesn't just come in a vacuum. It takes your efforts and the efforts of those around you. I want to end with a quote from late great Bob Uecker. "Anyone with ability can play in the big leagues. To last as long as I did with the skills I had, the numbers I produced, was a triumph of the human spirit." Thank you all for helping me keep going in all the ways that you have, and good luck with whatever comes next in your future. I'm sure whatever it is, we can get through it together. It's been an honor to work with you all. Go Buffs.
Good evening, class of 2025, parents and faculty. It's an honor to speak to you today. As I was preparing to write this speech, I received a very important piece of advice from my teachers, parents, and friends that I'm sure will resonate with all of you. That advice was to keep it short. So instead of yapping about following your dreams in this new chapter of life for 10 minutes, I'm going to share one important lesson that I learned from my time at Tooele High School. The lesson is this: the only limits to your success are the ones you put on yourself. To illustrate this point, let me share a brief story. Elephants have long been a symbol of strength and pride in many parts of the world. Because of their magnificent power, they have been an integral part of life in some countries for hundreds of years, and have helped with logging, construction, and transportation tasks. There was once a man passing through a camp with working elephants when he noticed the elephants weren't in cages or being held by chains. He expected something strong would be needed to hold the animals in place. But in fact, the only thing preventing the elephants from leaving the camp was a small piece of rope tethered to each animal. It was clear that the elephants could break away at any time, but for some reason, they stayed put. The man was confused why the elephants didn't just use their strength to break the harmless rope and leave the camp. How were these huge creatures being held by just a small rope? The man came across a trainer and asked, "Why do these magnificent animals just stand there without attempting to get away?" The trainer replied, "Well, when they are younger, we use the same size rope to tie them. At that age, this small rope is enough to keep them in place. They grow up conditioned to believe they cannot break away. As adults, they believe the rope can still hold them, so they never try to break free. The elephants could break free and leave at any time, but because they believed they were stuck, they remained right where they are." Like the elephants in this story, we often tell ourselves that we can't do something just because we failed at it before. By holding on to these beliefs, we are imposing powerful limits on our own ability to succeed. There is no reason to accept that we are destined to fail at a particular task forever. Imagine what would happen if the elephants were to test the strength of the rope regularly as they developed. Eventually, they would find out that they were capable of breaking free from their bindings. Similarly, if we persevere in the face of a seemingly impossible situation, over time, we will find that we are making progress in developing the skills necessary to succeed. I noticed this principle at work over the course of high school throughout the various activities I've participated in. It has been too easy to compare my achievements with my expectations or the achievements of others around me and find out that I come up short. Sometimes I would fall into the trap of telling myself that I would never be able to run fast enough in a race or score high enough on a test or whatever it may be to have a chance against the best. In other words, I let myself get bound by the flimsy rope. As I kept trying to improve, however, I soon found that as long as I was putting in the necessary time and effort, I was able to obliterate that flimsy rope and meet the goals I wanted. So now I ask you, what flimsy ropes are you allowing to hold you in place? What can you do to push your own personally defined limits and be the big, strong elephant you were born to be? That's just something I found helpful when I was going through difficult times in high school, and I hope you heard something that was helpful to you too. Congratulations on making it to this point, and don't let your accomplishments end here. Continue to do amazing things. Thank you, and go Buffs.
All right, so our first music number is Ashley Ruiz performing Dying to Live, and then it will be followed by the remarks of Vivian Mullally and Kason Walker.
Wanna build a life that's built to last. Not a quick trick or shortcut to get you there fast. I want a life that sits on solid ground. To my core, making myself proud. Wanna build a life that's bigger than me. Can't fit all my joy in the 7 seas. Overflowing, bursting out our house. From my core, love my eyes on the horizon. Throw my dreams up and let them fly with the wind. Keep my heart full of the best intentions. I wanna build a life I'm dying to live. I've seen the way the sun sets in the sun. I've heard the way the leaves talk in the fall. I think it do me well to remember. You never know when you're gonna leave it all. So always have your eyes on the horizon. Throw your dreams up and let them fly with the wind. Keep your heart full of the best intentions. That's just how I'm dying to live. That's just how I'm dying to live. I just hope you're dying to live.
Okay, so if you didn't already know, my name's Vivian. And if you didn't know from the fact that you got ready to come here by putting on a gown and a cap, today is May 20th, 2025. This is the day that you graduate. Hello, THS class of 2025. Notice how after all those years, we finally got to match the date with the year that we graduate. Whether it was a rocky 4 years for you, and you're very surprised you're handed a diploma today, or you always knew a diploma was a guarantee, you were just waiting for the special honors diploma, I welcome you. No matter where you are on that scale, this day seemed far away and quite impossible. We started high school on Tuesday, August 24th, 2021. In other words, we started high school 195 weeks ago. Weeks feels too long, let's break it down even more. We started high school 1,366 days ago, or 32,784 hours, or 1,967,040 minutes ago. Or get a kick out of this. We started this nearly 4-year-long journey 118,022,400 seconds ago. In any case, high school took up a lot of time. The many hours of homework, countless assignments that we all procrastinated until the very last second of the term. And I don't even need to mention the amount of time that you all put in to extracurricular activities before and after school. But I just want to thank you all for the time that you spent with me. Thank you to all my AP teachers who were there before and after to hopefully get me a 5 on the AP Calc test or the AP Lit test. Thank you to all my parents and peers who helped me through all of the rest of these times. As many of you know, the past 4 years have been a roller coaster. And I know I'm not the only one who felt that way. I think everyone in this room wanted just a little bit more time somewhere in the last few years. It might have been a little bit more time with a close friend or family member. It could have been more time spent feeling like a kid in your life, more time with your family, or more time spent on that assignment that you procrastinated until the very last second of the term. If you hadn't noticed by now, this speech is about time and how we spend it, whether that be in high school or as you go later on in life. How you spend the rest of your life is up to you. However, I implore you to look at the time that you have at a glance and spend it doing what you love. Apply the knowledge that you have learned these past 4 years into something that you will look back on and be proud of. Something that you know will let you love your life. Because our time on this earth is limited, just like our time in high school was. Making the most out of your time and finding what you love is the key to living the life you want. And that looks different for everyone. Some of us in this room will go on to have a big family and as many grandkids as they want. They'll spend their time raising them and loving every single aspect about their life. Some others will be perfectly okay coming home and working and reading their book by themselves, content with their 19 cats. Many of us in this room don't know what's going to happen within the next 5, 10, 15 to 20 years, and that's okay too. The last 4 years have felt like forever for a lot of us in this room, and the next chapter of your life will also probably feel like forever as well, and the next, and the next. But I hope to see all of you live out the rest of your forevers as happy as you can be. Lost time can never be found again, so live your life to the fullest. Make every single opportunity count and live your life for the present. Continue to strive for your happiness time and time again. Thank you all. Have a great day, have a great year, have a great life, and go Buffs.
Good evening. Proud families that supported us through it all. Friends we skipped class with. Teachers that wrote us tardy slips. Janitors that cleaned up all of our messes. Shout out Pam and Maiken. Admin and staff who somehow always knew what we were up to. But most importantly, the people who caused it all. The graduating class of 2025. Like any self-respecting member of this generation, I began writing this by asking AI to craft me the perfect 5-minute graduation speech. But then I remembered, my grades are in, I've passed my classes, and this speech wasn't gonna be graded. So I decided to delete the prompt and write it myself, like a true overachiever. Congratulations, we made it. 13 years of homework, late night study sessions, forgetting our passwords, and walking past that hallway couple. It wasn't always easy. To be honest, I don't think it was ever easy, but we did it. And that is something to be incredibly proud of. Throughout my time here at Tooele, somewhere between the lectures I half listened to, the tests I barely studied for, and the TikToks I definitely should not have been watching in class, I picked up 5 simple but surprisingly powerful rules or lessons that we can learn from and take with us for whatever comes next for each one of you. Lesson number 1, don't chase perfection, chase progress. Perfection is a moving target. If we spend our whole life trying to hit it, we'll burn out before we ever get close. Instead, focusing on getting a little better every day. Small, consistent steps lead to real, lasting change. Even if that means we strive to be a little better at being on time to first period. Nobody is perfect, but everybody can be a little bit better. Lesson number 2, be kind to everyone, including ourselves. Kindness is a superpower. It opens doors. Literally and figuratively. Shout out to anybody who opened jock doors for a classmate who was stuck out there for 30 minutes. Oh, that was loud. However, the part we often forget can at times be the most important part. We need to offer that same kindness to ourselves, especially when things don't go as planned. Because as we all know so well, in a world where we can be anything, be kind. Lesson number 3, ask more questions than we give answers. Curiosity is where growth begins. And I've learned that the smartest people in the room are never the ones with all the answers. They're the ones still asking the right questions. Questions like, what are the words actually to the second verse of our school song? If you guys don't know something, ask. Lesson number 4, fail forward. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. So fall, learn, get back up. That's how real progress is made and how resilience is built. For example, when we bomb a test, then we go run into our teacher for test corrections. Then hey, look at us. We passed that class. If we're not failing a little bit, we're not stretching ourselves far enough. Finally, lesson number 5. Your value isn't tied to your GPA, your job title, or your follower count. You guys are not your resume. Who you are, how you show up, how you keep going, what you guys do when nobody's around, that's what really matters, and it always will. You guys, you will always be a buffalo, brave, grounded, unshaken. Remember who you are and stand strong in your identity. So class of 2025, as we stand on the edge of everything we've ever known, and we take our first steps into a world that won't always be so gentle, don't rush to grow up. But don't hold back either. Remember the people who supported you and the strength it took to become who you are today. We didn't just survive these years. We became something because of them. So whatever comes next, take with you the same courage, laughter, and hope that made you who you are today. Now, if you know me, you know I think everything sounds better if it rhymes. So to end, here is a poem written by yours truly. In my 18 years of life, I've learned this truth. Create a life that makes you smile from the moment of your youth. We'll fail, we'll stumble, we'll trip along the way, but keep moving forward. Your dream life's just a step away. Don't let the sadness from the past hold you tight, or let the fear of the future dim your light. Embrace the present with joy and grace, for happiness is found in that very place. Now until next time, 2025 on top. I hope you guys have a great night and go Buffs.
Smith performing Fun with Friends that he composed himself. We will now turn the time over to Principal Wyatt and School Board Vice President Robert Gowans.
I'm not sure I really want to follow that. We have some amazingly talented graduates this year. This senior class, however, is not much different than other senior classes from years past. They like to play pranks. And we won't go into a lot of details, but I will tell you the other night, I was walking through the high school after apprehending 3 or 4 students to help them find the door outside of the building. And outside, if you've ever seen or know what series The Walking Dead is, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I'm walking by the gym and there's all that glass, and outside are all of these seniors up against the glass. And I made the mistake at the prom of telling Sage Wimmer that when I was in trouble as a younger person, my mother would use my full name, so I knew I was in trouble. And through the glass, I see Sage mouth the words, "Jeffrey Michael Wyatt, open the door now." Scared me to death. Needless to say, I did not open the door. Class of 2025, I want to tell you all congratulations. I felt that I might try my best to take a couple of minutes and address you using your terminology and vocabulary. I know, this may not go well. Being a member of Gen X is not easy using Gen Z terms. We are here this evening to celebrate you. Yes, you, slay kings and queens. Main characters, and even the kids who never turn their camera on during Zoom school. We see you. Now I could give you the classic graduation speech, talk about the journey, the future, and how proud that we all are. All of that is true. We are indeed proud of all of you. But I also know that I'm standing in front of a generation that communicates in memes, TikToks, and mysterious phrases like skibbity riz. So let me meet you where you are. First of all, you did it. That's not just a win, that's a W. Major slay. Certified, not mid. You understood the assignment and you ate. Now, let's get real. High school wasn't always a vibe. Some days felt like a jump scare. Other days were straight up NPC behavior. But you kept showing up, and that's no small feat. You survived essays, group projects with people who ghosted, and somehow managed to learn math during a pandemic. Through it all, you grew. You learned that sometimes the best response to life is to keep going, even when it's giving you chaos. You become people who can adapt, think, lead, and laugh through it all. You are not just the future, you are the moment. Or as I heard one of you say in the hallway last week, I'm not him, I'm him. That energy, keep it. As you head out into the world, take this advice. Be the friend who hypes others up. Be Delulu, but only the kind that leads to big dreams, not ignoring your deadlines. Protect your peace. Not everything deserves your energy or your attention. Most importantly, never lose your skibbity. Because in a world that sometimes feels like it's glitching, your authenticity, your humor, your creativity, that's what makes the world better. Also, remember what Ice Spice said. I'm the baddie. I get what I want. Go after what you want. Go after it with heart, with hustle, and with a touch of harmless chaos. Finally, to quote some of you, it's not goodbye, it's just low-key, a soft launch into a new era. I got a lot of work to do, don't I? Class of 2025, we love you. We believe in you, and we can't wait to see what you do next. Now go out there and make the world stand. Stay skibbity, stay slay, and remember, you'll always be a part of this high school's lore. Go Buffs. Now it's my honor to present the graduates. Superintendent Dr. Mark Ernst, Assistant Superintendent Dr. Jeff Ham, Area Director Mr. Brad Ranicky, Tooele County School District Board members Robert Gowns, Todd Thompson, Scott Bryan, Elizabeth Smith, Valerie Shields, family, and friends. On behalf of the administration of Tooele High School, I hereby declare that these candidates from the Tooele High School class of 2025 have met all the requirements of the state of Utah and the Tooele County School District for completion of their high school diploma, and request that such diploma be conferred upon them. Thank you.
You know, I was sitting there trying to decipher what Mr. Wyatt had just said. And it hasn't changed a lot since he was a student in my class in 1987. You know, it's really an honor to be here tonight as both an alumni of Tooele High School and also a former teacher. I want you to know graduation is one of the favorite things in my life, even as a school board member, is to be able to come and see and you demonstrate the achievements and the fantastic talks and things that we've had tonight. Graduates, I want you to look through the audience, look at your friends. Remember your support system. Remember those people that have helped you, family, friends, your siblings, your teachers. Don't forget to thank them when you get a chance for the support that they've had. You know, I can attest what a family does to help a student. And these folks are behind you, and they'll continue to be behind you. Remember, this is just a small leg in your journey. And as you start this journey, I want you to remember just a few things. Remember to follow your heart. If you're following your heart and your passion, you'll never forget who you are or where you're headed. You'll never forget your goals or your dreams. Remember, everything's not easy. You will fail. You will have those bumps or obstacles in your life, as well as those good days. The measure is, will you let those bumps and obstacles or those bad days define who you are? Stay positive. Also, be you. That's what's got you this far in your life, is being you. Don't change for anyone. Don't change those dreams or things that you are trying to achieve. And the very last thing that I want you to remember is the world needs leaders. And graduates, let's be honest, we're looking to you to be leaders and to stepping into those roles. Remember to stay positive, be kind, and be those people and take your place in society. Good luck in the future, and once again, congratulations. On behalf of the Tooele County School Board of Education, I accept the 2025 graduating class from Tooele High School. Thank you.
You guys line up. You guys line up there. Whatever side. Whatever side you have. Perfect. Oh my god. Okay, can we start?
Piper. Okay. Piper Glover.
We're at the end.
Kaysen Walker.
Anna Clarson.
Michael Smith.
Nick Reynolds.
Peyton Cook.
Jacob Jenkins.
Addison Fitch.
Vivian Mullally.
Dominic Gortat.
Ashley Ruiz.
Caleb Pince.
Sage Wimmer.
Riley Hyatt.
Savannah Wassley.
Dylan Maxfield.
Connor McInnes. You got it, Connor.
Anthony Longhurst. Nathaniel Stokes. Ellie Vorwaller. Samantha Campos. Lily Bell. Annabelle Peterson. Elizabeth Blatnick. Stephen Crawley. Sophie Ridealch.
Sabine Stokes.
Reagan Clegg. Katie Reuter. Tenley Marie Price. Luke Vienendahl. Maximus Paulson. Jaden Smith. Samuel Morse. Kaylee Hildebrand. Ashlyn Birch. Edwin Casanova. Rachel Gordon.
Jocelyn McBride.
Alexis Saades Jerez. Veronica Fox. Logan Lenore. Liliana Gaffney and Momo. Cage Hill. Parker Briggs. Andrew Gaetano. Alvaro Hernandez. Rafael Sotelo. Leo Carlos. Caden Kendall. Festua Pedro. Braxton Meekum. Christopher Lopez Lopez. Porter Hall. Lucas Gonzalez. Maylene Bird. Valerie Alderete Guzman. Brea Chamberlain. Emery Esparza.
Franklin Wilcox.
Rosemary Claire Chavez.
Briley Bars.
Palki. Oh.
Lindsay Hansen.
Kiana Davis.
Kip Cooper Bowser, Publicity SBO.
Brecken Kern.
Avery Nixon, Secretary SBO.
Josue Pineda.
Can I just say
Sebastian Donovan.
Anu Oleami, Diversity SBO.
Miles Lemestis.
Ayana So, Spirit SBO.
Javier Camacho. William Knight.
Stetson Ward, Senate SBO.
Zarela McEwen.
Boston Valdez, Service SBO.
Ashley Heron.
Braden Barton.
Christopher Romas Meron.
Alexander Walters.
Micah Riggs.
Bridger McInnes.
Bryce Peterson.
Madison Tate.
Ekidius Haywood.
Elena Flagg.
Joshua Peterson.
Addison Laird.
Kylie Palmer.
Brighton Keel.
Jack Hunsaker.
Zachary Earl.
Carson Freeman.
Ethan Sudweeks.
Reader Conger.
Morgan McIntyre.
Ian Butler.
Josue Alvarez.
Maddox Von Hatten. Easton Matthew Burdine.
Edwin Jensen.
Lydia Joe Moffitt. Trinity Burbage.
Jorgensen Midgley.
Matthew Barnard. Caleb Stone.
Leaf Evanson.
Catherine Durchie.
Abigail Wheaton.
Temperance Morales.
Connor James Bird.
Michaela Krebs.
Britton Rosser. Canyon Smith.
Wyatt Hogan.
Cameron Barrett.
Weston Hogan.
Braden Carson.
Benjamin Magleby.
Nicholas Hervat.
Grady Simmons.
Vaughn Gritzmacher.
Neftali Abedia Valle.
Clayton Bowden.
Crew Lewis.
Josh Garrett.
Gavin Earl.
James Wright.
Jackson Stalker.
Destiny Kaima.
Nathan Wardle.
Jacob Freely.
Aiden Seal.
Callan Rogers.
Taylor Bayless. Bridger Lyman.
Kira Kagi.
Jaden Lujan.
Taylor Scott.
Tyler Shovers. Jacob Proctor.
Jade Rasmussen.
Carter Garcia.
Briley Houghton.
Maddox Corbett. Jaime Lopez.
Alexander Rufner.
Joseph Ruiz.
Landon Teeples.
Daniel Diaz Cordona.
Caden Garvey.
Liam Walton.
Sarah Brimhall. Brooke Swenson.
Cody Jackson.
Umbria Checklin.
Reese Clough. Jenna Kemp.
Brinley Stevens.
Haley Kemp. Kimberly
Contessa-
Villa Rodriguez.
Contessa Kuhn.
Hallie Isaacson.
Danielle Furness.
Dominic Thomas Oracle. Armando Martinez.
Callie Husted.
Ethan Reniger.
Joseph Camargo.
Reese Jones.
Colby Hill.
Gabrielle Chapa.
Riley Swanson.
Annette Mejia Mendoza. Gabriel McBain Larson.
Hannah Hallett.
Kaylee Senato Mendoza Jones.
Angel Luna.
Lillian Farr.
Ryan Durfee.
Natalie Wilson.
Ashlyn Spencer.
Zaylee Robbins.
Patience Marie Walkins.
Ali Sorensen.
Matthew McCormick.
Brittany Goodwin.
Wesley William Thomas.
Darrett Hewlett.
Hunter Searle.
Wyatt Fisher.
Jenny Lynn Burke.
Theodore DiNicola. Jacob Jensen.
Lisa Jensen.
Darrett Hyatt. Ryan Fredrickson.
Allison Begay.
Jeremiah Haworth. Skylar Andresen.
Dalton James Boyka Jr.
Connor Roberts.
Connor Goodwin.
Nicholas Ariano.
Deshaun Savoy.
Tegan Wilson. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Isaac Gerard.
John Lekehe. Eduardo Nunez.
Tabitha Barton.
Opeta Kennison Harrison.
Heather Thomas.
Epalahame Wangopo.
Shaylee Benson.
John Marcy.
Aislinn Woodland.
William Seals.
Ella Neff.
Ethan Bateman.
Kayla Kubasek.
Jeremy Erickson. Mark Vasquez Day.
Jacqueline Overman.
Quincy Alvarado.
Sherry Whitlock.
Adam Baird.
Patience Bickham.
Austin Rushton.
Destiny Robinson.
Lily Yeeman. Griffin Bronder.
Brianna Hammond.
Jared Miles.
Isabel Snyder.
Carson Drube. Jackson Mather.
Caden Bullender.
Caden Barlow.
Hannah Michelle Weiss.
Brody Bunting.
Andrienne Kate Baldwin.
Layas Pearson.
Julissa Miranda Prieto.
Audrey Critchlow.
Gabriela Prado Ramirez.
Addison Dexter.
Analupe Leamanu.
Annalise Schaefer.
Jackson Quinn Dickinson.
Aaron Terry. Philip Areola.
Anahi Olvera Dominguez.
Grace Prucy.
Daisha May James.
Olivia Dane.
Christina Pepstall.
Jocelyn Cortez Torres.
Elijah Clinton.
Brianna Herrera Briseno. Juliana Alvarez Gonzalez.
Cassie Johansson.
Emily Hodges.
Kale Evans.
Seth Castaneda.
Finn Chaston.
Jaden Sainsbury.
There's always one person. Marielle Kerr.
Alex Jensen.
Hannah Miners.
Bridger Smith.
Adam Thamert.
Dalton Chastain.
Carlos Chama Ibanez.
Sonia Emerance.
Danielle Miraz.
Aurora Page. Isabel Creelman.
Jacqueline Lucero Lopez.
Taryn Coleman. Caden Lashley.
Ariana Laborio Herrera.
Porter Burton.
Aurora Alvaro Fragoso.
Rebecca Marcal dos Santos.
Natalie Sanchez.
Abigail Smith.
Alondra Hernandez Aladrando.
Enoch Henry.
Leslie Contreras Molina.
Joshua Artino.
Luis Cuevas Flores.
Dakota Bloss.
Ivan Alemán.
Anthony Walker.
Logan Obled. Ismael
Ja-
Diaz.
Javier Habanana.
Jared Larson.
Taiki Morales. Dante,
Abby Hermel.
Dante Silcox.
Rachel Firth.
Elijah Garamillo.
Oliver Johnson.
Adam Gonzalez.
Kara Hess.
Emily Lyons.
Andrew McCrae.
Luis Escobar.
Nathan Phillips. Jared Loader.
Drini Mejia Roman.
Aiden Van Vliet.
Kiza Johanna.
Roper Brewer.
Amy Jason Idowu Samuel.
Morgan Krolak.
Gabriel De Herrera. Lyric Shoots.
Robert Anderson.
Alex Belingi.
Bennett Delaney.
Margaret Hernandez.
Parker Davis.
Rina Uchike.
Logan Moon.
Tiffen Foriste Legan.
Daxton Stedman.
Alexandria Martinez. Lilu Lali.
Jonas Walker.
Adeline Reeder. Rebecca Swan.
Irene Hayes.
Christina Martinez Leon.
Ashlyn Paul.
Caitlin Peterson. Sebastian Silva Perkins.
Kaidman Du.
Madeline Snar. Alana Williams.
Kaylee Barton.
Annalicia Pinnell.
Katya Goodshield.
Angel Orozco. Gonzalo Hernandez.
Emma Blair.
Caro Dinero.
Haley Gunderson.
Anthony Estrada.
Clarissa Loader. Kara Richardson. Brooklyn Trussell. Rami Peacock. Ariana Sandoval. Allie Harrison.
Piper Glover.
Garrett Fafita. Class of 2025, we made it. From every first during freshman year to every last during this year, we created so many unforgettable memories. When I sat down to write this speech, I had no idea what to write. I had so many ideas, and then I remembered my favorite quote by Glenn Powell himself. No good story happens from things going right. The greatest gifts in life are not in the plans, they're in the detours. This saying really made me reflect on these past 4 years. If you were to ask freshman year me, that little old me, would be standing here as the senior class president, she would be shocked. The perfectionist in her had a plan for her high school career, and this was not a part of the perfectly built bullet point list she had made. But guess what? That is the gift. The best parts in life aren't usually planned out. Now let me ask, who's ready? Who is ready for college? Who is ready for a job? Who is ready for a mission? Who's ready to do taxons? Who is ready to schedule their own doctor's appointments? Let's be honest, none of us are. If high school taught me anything, it taught me that you can plan for every aspect of your life, but there are always going to be detours or unexpected turns that you will never be ready for, but will eventually lead you to where you need to be. I want you all to think back to your first day of 9th grade. You had to walk through those doors, whether it was jock, band, or the front doors. I bet you had a mix of excitement and anxiety. I know I was more scared than anything, but I was so excited to start this new chapter. I planned out my entire day thinking it would work perfectly. Well, when I went to my first class, I got lost twice. I had to ask the office to help me find my first class, and the rest of the day, I continued to get lost. All I was trying to do was not look like a confused freshman. Of course I did. Each class was a blur of new faces, new lessons, and those dang icebreaker games. You all know the one: stand up, say your name, and something about yourself, blah, blah, blah. By that time the final bell rang, my brain was full of names, room numbers, assignments, and my plan to not get lost on the second day. Nothing that happened that day went according to my plan. I realize now that's what high school is. It is a series of stories of our plans that took a couple detours. It could be the test you studied for but didn't ace, the friend group that suddenly changed halfway through sophomore year, having an assignment lock and your teacher won't open it, relationships that started and ended, the club or team you joined on a whim that you ended up loving, finding the people you don't like and the people you do, and becoming friends with people you never thought you would. Each plot twist, each crazy turn creates our life story, shaping us into the people we are today. In those 4 years, we all have our own memories, on the field, on the court, on the stage, or in a classroom. But we all have learned how to laugh when nothing goes right. We all have learned how to celebrate the little wins, lean on each other when it gets hard, and how to keep going after a loss. Tooele High School is only a small part of our lives, but it has been one great chapter that if I could relive it, I would. So as we turn the page to this new chapter, if yours is college, a job, a mission, the military, or a gap year, go into it knowing you won't have anything figured out. You might find a new dream, you might dance and both your feet come up and you fall flat on your butt. You might not get a perfect score on a test, you might not get the job you want, and your life is not going to go according to plan. Remember, everything is okay, and you're where you're meant to be. This detour in your life has taken is just going to become a great story later on. So here's to the class of 2025, to the plans we made, to the detours we didn't expect, and to the stories we will tell for the rest of our lives. And for one last time, have a great day and go Buffs. I now ask you, class of 2025, turn your tassels from the right side to the left. We graduated! Woo! Seniors, don't forget about the lock-in tonight.
Thank